Alright guys, so time is now for a showdown between the Vampire Coast, who are going to be led by Solastra, and the Skaven, who are going to be led by Tretch Craventail. So without further ado, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So as far as the build goes, we're going to be going with a bit of a summoner build. So pretty much what you do is you bring Solastra, and the only spell you bring on her is the Angry Crab Summon, so the Rotting Prometheans, which I think is called the Denizens of the Deep. So this allows you to summon two groups of the Rotting Prometheans, which are pretty good in a multitude of different matchups. And if you are using a lot of powder, it's a really good roadblock. Like if you have an opening in your formation, or some of your deckhand mobs get overrun or blown up by a spell, you can simply summon the crabs to kind of help bolster your ranks, which is very powerful. But aside from that, Solastra has a ton of really good abilities and brings a lot of utility to the battlefield for almost no cost. She's very, very cheap. So you have the Song of Enthrallment, which lowers speed by 48%, so almost by half. It lowers melee attack by 26. It is just such a good spell on a relatively short cooldown. And she does have the Ghosts of the Past, which allows her to summon the Knight Errants, which is so good in the Skaven matchup. You can chase down Skaven Slave Slingers, and the Knights also cause terror. So you get this like mobile terror bomb, which is really good against the Skaven ranged pieces and just brings so much utility, like I said before. We do have the Border Low item here, which does, what does this do? I actually never look at this. So it does improve the power recharge rate and ability recharge. Oh, that's kind of cool when you're casting. And again, if you're going to be using this build, I always forget to get rid of it, but you don't need the Kiss of the Deep because you're really only going to be casting spells occasionally with her. On top of that, she is pretty quick with 40 speed, and she does also cause terror herself, which is going to be useful. The second part of this combination, you bring the Vampire Fleet Captain, the Vampires. You have Invocation of Nehek to heal her up just in case they go with Lord Skrolk and use Libra on her. It does so much damage. So you really have to have Invocation of Nehek to kind of keep her alive. We have Morngul Haunter here in the front line. They're just really tough for Skaven to handle. Good missile resist, just brutal frontliners. They can duel a lot of the Skaven lords. They can go after the heroes, the assassins, and they're just going to terror out and monster mash most units. In the front, we got 4 groups of Zombie Pirate deckhand mobs, supported by a couple standard Zombie Pirate gunnery mobs in between the formations here. We have a couple handguns as well, so just to take out Rat Ogres, Doom Wheels, the heavy-hitting Skaven pieces. And in the back, we have 2 cannons. The cannons are designed to kill Skaven artillery, but my opponent actually has a pretty sweet little tactic here. So he actually line of sighted me, and he keeps moving it, hiding behind this rock right here. So I actually wasn't able to get line of sight for most of the game because he kept hiding behind this rock with his catapult. That was some next level tactics for sure. 2 carronades in the back. We got some Fellbats, and then we got a couple deck droppers with the handguns and 2 groups of the Scurvy Dogs, 1 on each side, who are going to be hunting. For my opponent's army, he does have a front line of Skaven slaves. Looks like there's some clan rats with spears there as well. Clan rats here, plague monks in the back to do the actual heavy lifting against my troops. He's got Tretch, who does have anti-large, and he's very tough to kill. So Tretch might be a decent option against Nautilus or some sort of Colossus play. He does also have a Plague Priest over here with his Pimp Cane, so he does have the summoning ability, the Pestilent Rebirth, Plague, and Vermintide, and the Warlock Engineer just has the Howling Warp Gale as well as the Lightning Blast. So all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Or Warp Lightning, you guys get what I'm saying. The Skaven do also have a Doom Wheel, so the Doom Wheel's probably here because Depth Guard actually are really good against Skaven infantry, so maybe the Doom Wheel's here to roll those things over. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. It looks like there's a deep Death Runner Vanguard, which is going to be pretty scary once it gets to my artillery over there. So guys, let's get this show on the road. The dogs are going to be hunting down these Night Runners, which I did discover over here. The doggies definitely going to be feasting on some of those guys, but I know that the 3 Night Runners could easily take out the Scurvy Dogs if they team up on them and just kind of pebble them in the back here. So I actually use Solastra to summon the Damned Knight Errants. Those Damned Knights are going to be charging in. They got Terror and a charge bonus of 50, but I actually do put them in Lance formation here to give them a better charge bonus now, up to 68. Blade Call Catapults are going to be tearing into my infantry, not doing a ton of damage, but this is definitely one of the better situations. So the Doom Wheel did come out of the forest. And what's really cool about Scurvy Dogs and Direwolves and units like this is they don't break. So they can simply just use their mass to pin up this Doom Wheel here, which really can't move at all. And that's going to hold it in place for my gunners here. So the deck droppers with handguns are just going to be gunning this thing down, doing massive damage, so definitely a very good opening. The Damned Knight Errants on the far side are going to be charging into the Skaven, and I'm basically just Lance formation, just cycle charging back and forth on the Night Runners. And you can see the Night Runners here are actually winning against the Scurvy Dogs, of course, with the support of a little bit of Overwatch fire. But these Damned Knight Errants are really doing a good job kind of riding these guys down. In the main battle line, I'm just kind of forming ranks, falling back a little bit just to get my guns at proper line of sight up here on the hill. Also buying a little bit more time to take out this Doom Wheel, so you can see here the Scurvy Dogs and these deck dropper handgunners are going to be shooting this bad boy. They can't really escape, which is nice. The Damned Knight Errants are taking a little bit of work here, but they're definitely cleaning up some of these Night Runner Slingers. One of the groups did actually get terror routed, which is quite useful. Now the guns are underway, so the guns are going to be shooting at the Clan Rats. They all have shields though, so well played by my opponent there, bringing those shielded troops in the front line. My cannons don't really have too many good targets. I could shoot the Doom Wheel, but I figured I had it on lock here. And Howling Warp Gale for my opponent as well. Now, it's not like Tempest in that it's going to just massacre them with damage. I don't think it even does any damage. It just kind of holds them down. So he's just trying to buy time for his Doom Wheel to get away, but I still think we're going to get it. In the front line, these Zombie Pirate deckhand mobs are fighting the Clan Rats, which, Clan Rats honestly probably have a decent matchup there, but even still, these guys hit relatively hard against light armor, and of course the Morngul Haunter is a little bit blocked up. I think I might have been sending him back here to do something, but So Losser is going to be jumping in the front line as well, and she does cause terror, so she's going to be surfing USA, spinning in here, and she does have 300 weapons range. She's not a pushover per se, and she can summon some angry crabs there, so that could be useful. But you can see Tretch in there with the prison shank, a little bit scary for her. Damn Knight Errants are still causing a lot of problems in the back line, and I do have Felbats on his artillery piece. The guns are also shooting in. We're going after the Plague Monks with everything we can. The Tide of Skuld is going to be falling back because his army wasn't super wide, so I was like, I'm going to pull these guys back and just kind of defend here in the secondary line. Now we do summon some Prometheans. The Prometheans are going to be a lot of trouble for these rats here. They cause fear, of course, which is good, but I pretty much already have that on all my units, but they're going to be pin slapping a lot of these rats and hopefully paying their dues. And the guns, in the meantime, are switching their focus fire into the Plague Priest. My opponent does use a nice little plague right there, which actually tears up my zombie pirate deckhand mobs. Into the back, he does get the Death Runners. I did spot them at the last second, though, so the zombie pirates were able to kind of intercept them right before they were able to get to this cannon here. So you can see, thankfully, I was able to salvage the situation. Now, they're going to do a ton of work against the very low melee attack of my zombie pirates here. But you can see here I do have my deckhand mobs who did finish off that Doom Wheel, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Doom Wheel, yeah, it's pretty much broken off. But they're going to be falling back right now and helping to finish off these Death Runners. Now, the frontline fight's a bit of a mess. You can see here I do have the Morngul Haunter who's going to be slapping around this Warlock Engineer. And all the Skaven Lords pretty much are infantry sized unless you put them on a Bone Breaker. So the bonus versus infantry is going to be very helpful here on the Haunter as he does go in and start slapping up this Engineer. On top of that, I do have some gunnery mobs that are going to be shooting in at him as well. And it looks like Tretch is hunting down Celostra, but she's pretty quick. 40 speed compared to his 42, so he's actually a little bit faster, but I should be able to get away. I do use the taunt on him with the Vampire Captain, lowering his stats, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just take an engagement with Celostra and the Vampire Captain once he does get back, and we'll see how that goes. But the guns are still shooting. We're getting some massive pot shots here at the Plague Monks. They actually just finished off the zombies. My opponent does summon some Clan Rats, so the Clan Rats are going to be forcing back my handguns. Now, I should have just put them on guard mode and let them fight, but it's just kind of instinctive to pull back your guns when they're being chased, but I guess it buys time for those units to be desummoned. The Vampire Fleet Captain in a bit of a 2v1, so a little bit of a mistake. I wanted to get Celostra back and have her help out against these summoned units. So the Vampire Fleet Captain's going to be running now, and she does have, is it he or she? I don't know. But it does have 38 speed, so the Captain's going to be pulling back. We're also going to be summoning some zombies to help out. But the guns are online. Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mobs doing their job, shooting down these Plague Monks. There are some pebbles coming after my cannons here, so good play from my opponent using his range here, the 140 range to kind of pick off my carronades. And both of them are pretty much offline. These Death Runners were able to get some supporting fire from these Night Runner Slings who killed the cannons. And from here, we do get the Death Runners, but they did accomplish their mission of pretty much shutting down both of my cannons. So Celostra is able to terror out those summons. Again, that mobile terror really coming into play here, so she's going to chase those guys off. My handguns are going to set up shop again and start shooting, and I do also have the handguns here. I was trying to shoot at some of the lords, but I did get line of sight blocked by my opponent's summon, so very, very good summon. He's really good on top of it. But we do have a bit of a duel. The Morngul Haunter is going to be fighting against Tretch, as well as this Plague Priest. We're able to do huge damage against the Plague Priest in a 2v1 situation here. We do, of course, have taunt, but he still almost kills my Vampire Fleet Captain with Tretch. So the Morngul Haunter just doing a ton of work knocking these guys around. And now that I was able to secure my back line with the deck droppers with the handguns, I just set up shop and I'm just picking off any of the high-level targets like Plague Monks and some of these Night Runner Slings if I can, and just doing whatever I can to secure this back area here. So the Tide of Skuld was able to fend off the pressure a little bit. The Halberds are pushing forward to kind of intercept some of these troops as my cannons are pretty much offline, so I don't really have anything going on there anymore. And here we do have a Last Samurai moment. So you can see that the handguns, Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mobs with handguns, are going to be shooting in on this Warlock Engineer. And this is actually a pretty decent little pocket of pressure. Clan Rats with shields. I definitely did not want to lose these guns and let my opponent get back in the game. So I come in with Celostra. I use the Song of Enthrallment, which slows by half almost. And from there, we're able to get just massive volley fire, kind of slow down these guys, slow down these Clan Rats. And this is why Celostra is so good. She's pretty, durable against non-magic using units, so she causes terror. She just runs in there, she slows things down, just brings so much utility here. And the Song of Enthrallment, again, lowering his melee attack as well, which puts him to 0. So you can't even fight against the mighty 7 melee defense of those zombie pirates very efficiently. So the deck guns are going to be falling back a little bit. I think we were looking to pick off the Warlock Engineer, but at this point, pretty much going to be army losses. So well played to my opponent. It was definitely a fun game. Very cool to see Tretch in action. And I do think that that is a relatively hard matchup for the Skaven. The vampire, factions that cause fear in general, whether it be vampire counts or anything spooky, is definitely pretty tough for the Skaven to handle. And Skaven, of course, are one of those factions that haven't gotten their RORs and things like that yet, and some of the different things that'll be coming in the future, I'm sure. It's a little bit tough for them. I think they can do it, and there are some builds that are pretty effective against vampire coast, but this is definitely a pretty mean one. You get the Summon Knights, who are going to be hunting down the back line, pressuring, causing terror. You're just getting so many summons, so you can really match the numbers of the Skaven. And even if they go super wide, you're going to have zombies, Prometheans, and Damn Knight Errants. So you get like 3 units right away, right? Again, there is a summon block if you have a full stack, but these guys are going to be dying pretty quick. Scurvy Dogs are really good at chasing down slingers and harassing artillery pieces. Felbats are great. And if they do go heavy artillery, the carronades are usually pretty good. Granted, that line of sight my opponent did on this map was really, really solid. That was cool. Couple guns, useful against Rat Ogres. The handguns really keep them honest as well in the Rat Ogre department, but Rat Ogres, I don't think are the way to go against the Vampire Coast anyways. But yeah, it was a really fun showdown for sure. I like the Howling Warp Gale, and the Plague Priest and Tretch, of course, is very tough to kill. However, I do think Skrulk is probably going to be the best pick here, because if they do go Solastra, she's going to get roasted by Libru Bubonicus. It's going to put so much pressure on the Vampire Coast player. I think that it's definitely the best way to go. But I do think like Skrulk plus a Warlock Engineer with the Howling Warp Gale could be really good against deck droppers for sure. So let's actually do some theory crafting. I feel like this is a really tough matchup for the Skaven, so I'd actually like to go ahead and take a look at some builds. I know I've had some decent success in some matchups with the Skaven against Vampire Coast, but let's actually go ahead and run it back a little bit and take a look. So again, very well played to my opponent, definitely very fun, and I look forward to facing you again, my friend. So here we do have the Pestilent Breath. Yeah, I think we kind of go this direction, just get the bodies with Vermintide, and the Breath attack is going to be pretty good against like guns. And you know, if they do bring like Sirens or things like that, I feel like that could be some pretty good pressure. And the items are super important for sure. On top of that, we can get an Assassin. The Assassin is going to be quite helpful in the battle against, yeah, Slippery's pretty good. It's going to be good against Vampire Fleet Captains and things like that. Yeah, so we'll go that route. And then also Warlock Engineer, you can pretty much cut all of his abilities because you're not going to be doing too much. He's just a safeguard against flying units. And you can get the Mortis Engine Armor. So this is going to be like your leadership kit, I think. Now, do you go Storm Vermin? That's really the question. I feel like going super wide with Clan Rats works pretty well, but I think maybe saturating a couple Storm Vermin in the front with the shields is going to be good. They're really barely going to take any damage from the zombie deckhand mobs. But again, Prometheans will pimp slap these guys pretty bad, so it's a little bit tricky there. But I think going super slinger heavy is like really good. You saw how efficient my opponent was with the slingers. Had they had some like protection, I think that would have been pretty scary. Now, artillery, I don't think you want to go the artillery route against them. I think they're just going to be able to outdo you there. I do like the Death Runners quite a bit. Maybe like one Death Runner deep Vanguard like that, and then like you can even use them in the front line to soften up the Prometheans and lower their armor by 50%. Then you follow up with the the DPS and the missiles here, and that's able to do some pretty good work. So maybe we even go a little bit heavier on the slings. We could bring Globadiers, but I feel like they're going to get focus fire down. Granted, these guys have pretty similar range to the zombie gunnery mobs, and so we want to go with Globadiers just to maybe just like one Globadier just to be like safe against like large targets and things like that. Could be pretty good. But the range is short. It definitely can get focus fire down, but they'll also do some decent damage against Solastra because of the nature of the beast there. On top of that, we got the Death Runners. Okay, so the front line is going to be Storm Vermin. It's a very thin front line. We're going to need some more meat and potatoes there. So I think just getting like Clan Rats, I want to get the Spears or the standard variant. The Spears are going to be decent against Mourngulls, Mourngul Haunters. Let's see, what else would they be decent against though? I don't know if the Clan Rat Spears, because like you're going to be able to kill Mourngulls with your sling super easy. And you also have to respect the Scurvy Dog. So I think actually some Rat Ogres might not be a bad choice. So maybe cut the Globadiers. I'll get 2 Rat Ogres to like help clean up Hounds in the back line. And then from there we can get some like Skaven Slaves. And yeah, I want to... The Assassin I feel is quite helpful for sure in that like final showdown. And do you really need the Howling Warp Gale is the question. The Howling Warp Gale is pretty good against like deck droppers, but I feel like the Night Runners are going to be able to pretty much kill them and fend them off anyway. So maybe we just cut the Warlock Engineer for now. And go just get some Skaven Slave Spirits to just give you numbers. The Rat Ogres can help against Scurvy Dogs, and if they do go with a Depth Guard and the big boys, what are those, the Prometheans, I think you're going to be pretty happy about having these Rat Ogres. Death Runners are helpful in that respect as well. We do have a little bit more money, so from here I think we can just kind of squeeze in a couple more, we can even cut like one of these slaves here, and that should allow us to get like 2 of the Clan Rats. Yeah, I think something like this could be pretty good. I'm actually going to save this build, Skaven versus Coast, and I will try that in one of my future matchups. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this game as well as the post-game analysis. We will see you guys next time. Take care.